Do you know how different daily life is between the US and India? Today, we'll explore 50 surprising contrasts that reveal these two distinct cultures. Let's dive in. Americans typically use forks and knives for dining, reflecting Western table manners, while Indians often eat with their hands, which is deeply rooted in their traditions and culture. American breakfasts often consist of cold food, which is quick and convenient, while Indian breakfasts are usually hot, rich, and flavorful. American cooking methods primarily involve grilling and frying, emphasizing health and convenience, whereas Indian cooking focuses more on stir-frying and stewing, with an emphasis on rich flavors and the use of spices. Americans often sleep late and wake up early, adhering to a busy lifestyle, while Indians tend to follow a more traditional schedule, sleeping early and waking up early. Coffee is the preferred beverage in the US, reflecting a fast-paced lifestyle, while tea is an integral part of life in India, especially traditional milk tea. Housing in the US is mainly single-family homes, emphasizing personal space, while in India, multi-story apartments are more common, reflecting higher population density and close-knit community living. Americans generally take quick showers, valuing efficiency, while Indians often spend more time bathing, considering it a relaxing and purifying ritual. Americans value personal space and privacy, whereas Indians place greater importance on family and community, with social activities often involving family and neighbors. Weddings in the US are usually simple with fewer guests, while in India, weddings are grand affairs with large numbers of guests and celebrations that last for several days. American festivals are often religious and cultural, such as Christmas and Thanksgiving, while Indian festivals are vibrant and diverse, particularly Diwali and Holi, reflecting the country's cultural richness. Americans value personal space and privacy, whereas Indians place greater importance on family and community, with social activities often involving family and neighbors. The typical workday in the US is from 9 to 5, while in India, working hours are more flexible, especially in informal sectors. Americans tend to rely on private cars, with a well-developed transportation infrastructure, while Indians use public transportation and motorcycles more frequently, especially in urban areas. Americans generally follow queuing order, emphasizing fairness and discipline, while queuing in India can be more relaxed, reflecting different social and cultural backgrounds. Online shopping is very popular in the US, offering convenience and speed, whereas in India, in-store shopping remains dominant, providing a more traditional shopping experience. Americans prefer fast food, reflecting a fast-paced lifestyle, while Indians love spicy food, with spices playing a crucial role in Indian cuisine. American families are mostly nuclear, with fewer members, while in India, extended families are common, with close family ties and multi-generational living being prevalent. English is the primary language in the US, with relatively uniform language use, while India is multilingual, with regional dialects and English commonly spoken, highlighting its linguistic diversity. Americans primarily keep dogs and cats as pets, with a thriving pet market, while in India, animals like cows and monkeys are respected in certain regions, influenced by cultural and religious beliefs. In the US, citizens have the legal right to own guns, deeply rooted in gun culture, while India has strict legal restrictions on gun ownership, with few civilians possessing firearms. Americans are highly conscious of environmental protection and recycling, advocating for sustainable living, while Indians focus more on conserving water and reusing items, reflecting traditional resource-saving practices. The cost of living in the US is relatively high, with higher price levels, while in India, the cost of living is lower, though the quality and availability of goods vary widely. Americans typically dress casually, with a simple style, while in India, traditional clothing and Western attire coexist, especially during festivals and formal occasions. The US has a comprehensive social security system covering healthcare, pensions, and more, while India's social welfare system has limited coverage, with significant disparities between urban and rural areas. Birthdays in the US are often celebrated with friends and cake cutting, while in India, birthdays are more commonly spent with family, involving traditional religious rituals. The US has diverse religious beliefs, with Christianity being predominant, while India is primarily Hindu, with multiple religions coexisting harmoniously, deeply rooted in the population. Environmental awareness is high in the US, with strong policy support encouraging participation from individuals and businesses, while in India, environmental awareness is growing, with efforts to promote related measures. The US healthcare system is comprehensive, with a focus on private insurance, offering high-quality services but at a high cost. In India, public and private hospitals coexist, with uneven distribution of resources and varying levels of service. The US has relatively few public holidays, usually concentrated on major festivals, while India has more public holidays, encompassing various religious and cultural festivals. Americans tend to have dinner earlier, usually around 6 p.m., while in India, dinner is typically later, often after 8 p.m. Americans favor fitness and running, focusing on personal health, while Indians love cricket and yoga, with cricket being the national sport and yoga an ancient tradition originating in India. The US emphasizes equality and personal effort, with success more dependent on individual ability, while India has a stronger concept of social class, though modern influences are gradually changing traditional views. Alcohol consumption is common in the US, with a thriving bar culture, while in India, alcohol is restricted in some regions, influenced by religious and cultural backgrounds. Americans enjoy pop and rock music, with these genres having global influence, while Indians prefer Bollywood music and traditional music, reflecting the country's cultural richness and diversity. The US film culture is dominated by Hollywood blockbusters, with global influence, while India has its own unique Bollywood film industry, known for its musical elements and popularity both domestically and in surrounding regions. Political participation is high in the US, with citizens actively involved in voting and political activities, while in India, political participation is gradually increasing with high voter turnout during elections. The US society places a strong emphasis on gender equality, with well-established laws and regulations, while in India, the concept of gender equality is gradually being adopted, although traditional views still have some influence. Americans prefer road trips, enjoying the freedom and independence, while Indians are more inclined to travel in groups, finding safety and convenience, which suits the habit of traveling in large numbers. In the US, elder care is often provided in nursing homes, emphasizing professional care, while in India, family care is more common, with children living with their elderly parents, sharing the joy of family life. Americans place a strong emphasis on time management, viewing punctuality as a sign of respect, while Indians have a more relaxed perception of time, with lateness being considered normal. Americans advocate for energy-efficient appliances and renewable energy, with energy conservation being widely accepted, while India is gradually promoting energy-saving measures, with public awareness on the rise. In the US, child education focuses on fostering independence, encouraging self-thinking and exploration, while in India, family education plays a significant role, with parents deeply involved in their children's academics and lives. Americans have a strong legal awareness, with citizens generally abiding by the law and a well-established judicial system, while in India, legal awareness is gradually strengthening, especially among the younger generation, with the concept of the rule of law becoming more deeply ingrained. American society values cultural diversity, with immigrant cultures being preserved and developed, while in India, traditional culture has a deep influence, even as modernization progresses, with traditional festivals and customs remaining important in people's lives. Americans are accustomed to credit-based consumption, with widespread use of credit cards and an open consumption concept, while Indians prefer cash payments, with a more conservative consumption habit and a strong tradition of saving money. In the US, tap water is generally of good quality, and most areas have drinkable tap water, while in India, bottled water is more common, with people generally avoiding drinking tap water directly, especially in urban areas. The power supply in the US is generally stable, with few power outages, while in India, power supply can be relatively unstable in some areas, with occasional power outages, especially in remote regions. Americans primarily use mobile phones with high smartphone penetration, while in some parts of India, landlines are still used, along with rapidly increasing mobile phone use. US society places great emphasis on personal privacy protection, with strict legal safeguards, while in India, privacy awareness is gradually increasing, especially in the digital age, with the importance of privacy protection becoming more prominent. Americans are increasingly preferring organic food, focusing on healthy eating, while Indians pay more attention to traditional food processing methods, preserving the original flavors and traditional taste of food.